Hello, beautiful people. I'm here with today's Thursday word. It's going to be very brief today, and I apologize for coming so late. This has been a busy week for myself, but I'm going to still do what God has called me to do. I'm going to paraphrase quite a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the chapters and the verses that you should read. Today I'm going to be coming from 1 Samuel, and I'm in the second chapter through the fourth chapter. And I encourage you all to read this and become more familiar with these scriptures, so we can understand how God raises up Samuel over Eli. So I'm sure you all are familiar with the story of Hannah. Hannah is the mother of Samuel, and Elkanah is his father. Samuel, mother Hannah, she went to the house of God, and she was basically crying out to God. Eli thought she was drunk, and she was praying for God to bless her womb with a son. God blessed her with a son, and her son was Samuel. She then told God that she would give him back to her. Samuel back to him. So she allowed Eli to raise Samuel up in the ways of the Lord. So Eli done so, and he done so very well. But Eli also had two sons of himself, and his sons were evil. His sons basically did what they wanted to do. They did not practice the priestly customs. They didn't practice the priestly customs, and they basically did what they want to. So when they were supposed to make different sacrifices for the sins they committed, they basically ate the sacrifice. They shorted God, and they did not. They were not being obedient. And Eli knew this. His two sons were Hophni and Phinehas. I believe that's how you pronounce their names. And so basically, how what got Eli in trouble with God is his sons, the wickedness of his sons. His sons did not practice the priestly customs, and they also laid with the different women that was at the tabernacle in the front of the tabernacle. So they basically was making other people transgress. Here it is. Their father Eli was a priest or a prophet. He's in the house of God, and he's raising up this child in the ways of God. But his two sons are living wickedly and evil, and he wasn't correcting it. Eli also was basically eating the sacrifices that they made, and then getting fat and enjoying the sacrifices that was supposed to be given to God. Right here in chapter 2, 1 Samuel chapter 2, God says to Eli, why did you kick my sacrifice and make my offering which I commanded in my dwelling place and honor your sons more than me, to make yourself fat with the best of all the offerings of Israel, my people? So here it is that Eli is enjoying the offering that the people of Israel is making to God. He's eating them with his sons. His sons should have no partake in these sacrifices, because they are wicked and evil. So this is what disqualifies Eli to continue to be a prophet of God. So one day Samuel, he is asleep, and he hears his name being called. He thinks it's Eli. He goes through this about 3 times. He thinks it's Eli, and Eli told him, no, it's not me. And he told him to lie down and ask the Lord to speak to him. Speak, Lord. So Samuel was obedient, as he always was. He was being raised in the right way of the Lord. And I'm going to read right here, and I'm in chapter 3 and in the 10th verse. Now the Lord came and stood and called out at the other, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel answered, speak, for your servant hears. Then the Lord said to Samuel, behold, I will do something in Israel, at which both ears of everyone who hears will tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli in all I have spoken concerning his house, from beginning to the end. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knows, because his sons made themselves vile, and he did not restrain them. And therefore I have sworn to the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be atoned for by sacrifice or offering forever. So God spoke to, and Samuel was still a young boy. So God gave this prophecy to Samuel. So God expected him to deliver. So the next morning when he woke up, Eli asked him, what did God speak to him? So Samuel went and told Eli what he was afraid, but he still told him what Eli had spoken. What God had spoken to him. So it was revealed to Eli that, okay, God is going to, there's no sacrifice that we'll be able to make, like we're going to be destroyed. So they ended up going into battle with the Philistine, and they went into the battle twice, and they thought they would win when they went and got the Ark of the Covenant. They went and got the Ark of the Covenant, and they tried to they thought that they were going to win because they had it there, but the Philistines still conquered them. They conquered them. They killed his two sons, Hophni and Phinehas. They killed them, and then when Samuel found out about it, he fell dead. And then I think it was Hophni's wife who was pregnant. She gave birth when she found out about it, and she died from giving birth. So all in all, I want to say is that there's a way that we should live when we are being people of God. We should not just let certain things slide. In this culture, in these days, it's easy for us to just be like, oh, okay, that's just how they are. That's okay. We accept it, or whatever it is. It's easy for us to say, yeah, we accept that. Just say if it's homosexuality, or if it's drugs, or if it's drinking, or whatever it is it's easy to accept now because so many people is doing it. It's so many people's lifestyles. It's easy for us to accept if we and become comfortable with. So here it is that Eli became comfortable with the wickedness and the evilness of that his sons did, and by him becoming comfortable and not addressing those situations and not handling it appropriately, he died. His sons died. They lost the Ark of the Covenant, and it was basically he was demoted from his position. He did a great job in raising Samuel up in the house of God, but he did not raise his own children up like he should have. He gave them slaps on the wrist, and sometimes we got to be careful about that, because we can do the same stuff ourselves. We can teach other children the right way, but then we don't teach our own children the right way. So we got to just use wisdom and ask God to help us in those places, because we don't want to be in a situation like like Eli was in. His family was destroyed because he just gave so many slaps on the wrist for what his children were doing. They were sleeping with the women at the tabernacle. They were eating the sacrifices. They were doing what they want to. They didn't know the priestly customs. So he taught Samuel the priestly customs, but he did not teach his own two sons the priestly customs. So we just got to make sure that we are leading our children in the way that they should go. So because of his disobedience, and because of him not restraining his sons, he died and his sons died. And then God raised up Samuel. God raised up Samuel as a prophet, and we know that Samuel is the prophet who discovered David. So just be encouraged that even if someone is over us and they have people that they're connected to, that they're letting get by, even if they're teaching us the right way and we're just doing the right thing, God is going to honor our obedience. God is going to honor our faithfulness. God honored Samuel because of his faithfulness, his obedience. So God, he was able to hear God clearly. It was basically like Eli knew what he was supposed to do, but he ignored the voice of the Lord when he came to his children. So by him doing that, his children wasn't raised in the way that they should have been raised. But he did do a good job raising Samuel, and God raised Samuel up to take his place. So I just want you to be encouraged and just we must do what we know we're supposed to do, no matter who is doing something wrong around us, no matter what people are doing, or no matter what culture that they are trying to oh, I'm okay with that and this and that. No, we are to love all people. We are to, with love and kindness, have God drawn us. But there are things that we should not just, oh, I'm fine with that. Oh, they could do this. They can live this way. No, I'm going to love you. I'm going to show you the love of Christ, because I'm going to show you the love of Christ and love you right where you are. But that don't mean I am to change what I believe and change what the Word of God says to make someone comfortable, or to basically hinder someone from growing. So basically, I believe that Eli, he hindered his two sons because he let them get away with so much. So I basically believe that he hindered them, and they died because of that. So just be encouraged. No matter what's going on around you, you do what's right. You do what God has called you to do, and God is going to honor that, just as he did when he raised Samuel up over Eli. And I pray that you are blessed. Again, this is 1 Samuel. I encourage you to read 1 Samuel, 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, and 4th chapter, to make you more familiar with this, in the story of Samuel, and the story of the demise of Eli and his two sons, Hophni and Phinehas. So you all have a blessed day. I pray that you enjoy this word. This actually is longer than what I expected it to be, but just be encouraged, and I look forward to seeing you all next Thursday with our next Thursday word. Again, this is God raises up Samuel over Eli. Have a blessed one. Bye bye.